The notion of proving impact, and so many funders these days ask providers, grantees, to prove that they've made an impact on the community, and it's the wrong question. In complex environments, one of the things we've learned from chaos and complexity theory is that cause and effect relationships are not just difficult to know, they're impossible to know. And so in a community level effort, an individual program will never be able to show or prove that it's created an impact at the community level. What programs can be asked to do is they can be asked to demonstrate that they've made a difference in the lives of their customers. And what programs do for their customers then becomes their contribution to community change. So the relationship between programs and community should no longer be thought of as a matter of proof of causality, but rather demonstrating contribution. Now, if we think about the complex set of actions that are typically embodied in a community change process, how do you know if a complex strategy is making a difference at the community level? And here we have not been given very good models to use by the research and evaluation community. Much of the research and evaluation community has been trying to apply the medical model, the control group research model, to complex community change processes, and it just doesn't work. You can't run a community change process for 3 years, see what happens, roll the community back, and run the community without the change process. It just doesn't make sense. So what we need are different models that help us explain whether a community change process is working or not. And I believe that there's actually a way to do this, which I write about in the book. And here's how it works. Imagine, if you will, that you have a curve that you're interested in turning. Whatever that happens to be, can be the juvenile crime rate, the teen pregnancy rate, the rates of air or water quality, it doesn't matter. If you have 3 pieces of evidence, you can begin to demonstrate your contribution to community change. And here are the 3 pieces of evidence. First, that we tried a bunch of stuff that had a credible chance of making a difference. And 2, we saw a timely relationship to 3, a turn in the curve. If you have these 3 pieces of evidence, you have what I think of as circumstantial evidence that what you did here contributed to, did not cause, but contributed to this turn in the curve. This is pretty much the best you are ever going to do in your career. But it's a powerful, powerful argument. And if you're able to tell this story, you'll have a convincing case with funders and with elected officials and with other stakeholders. If you think back to the stories that we looked at in the course of our morning workshop, Tillamook County, for example, has these 3 elements. They tried a bunch of stuff that had a credible chance of impacting the teen pregnancy rate in their county, and sure enough, we saw a timely relationship to a turn in that curve. In the case of the work of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, the same 3 conditions applied. They tried a bunch of stuff that had a chance of making a difference. It wasn't a token effort. And sure enough, they saw a timely relationship in the curve on alcohol-related traffic fatalities in the United States. And the same is true of Boston and all of these other stories. So what I believe is that we need the research and evaluation community and the funding community to give credence to this notion that this 3-part set of evidence is good enough for demonstrating contribution to community change for complex funded initiatives. And I believe that programs and communities will be better off for having their successes acknowledged in this way and not held to the unreasonable standards of medical model research which simply don't apply.